Well, hello everyone, and a warm welcome to this video. I'm actually on Ettrick Bay on the Isle of Bute, and it's a lovely spring day, 14 degrees. I'm sat on the beach here. I'm sure a lot of people watching this video will be shocked to see that I'm back in the UK after 7 weeks in Indonesia. Well, I'm going to try and summarise quickly because there's been so much has happened. I'm going to try and write a blog about it as well when I've got more time, but I'll just summarise quickly. So, last video I made, quarantine in Jakarta, got through that, got to Surabaya, had a fantastic weekend, seeing my girlfriend and enjoying a nice hotel with a swimming pool and food, and we went out, went and saw some live music, which was nice. And then the reality started the following week when I moved into the teacher's house. Oh yes, with no window, a room with no window, and mould up the walls. So within 3 days of that, I realised I had to move to another location. So fortunately, we found this apartment close to where I was working and where my girlfriend works. Very small room on the 12th floor, but they had a swimming pool, and I thought, well, that would be nice. I can at least have a swim after work. Well, that was short-lived, as due to the rising Omicron cases, all swimming pools were closed. So that was it. Couldn't use that. All the restaurants, everything closed at 9 p.m, the curfew. So first week was mainly lesson observing and taking notes, and trying to learn how to use the computer system, which was almost impossible. The following week they started me on lessons, and I was planning and I was writing things down and trying to do PowerPoint, put things on PowerPoint, all this kind of stuff, which was really hard and confusing because I didn't know what I was supposed to be teaching. I didn't have sufficient teacher's notes, and I was kind of expected to make up my own lesson plan, but not really knowing what lesson, where I was starting, and it was just complete and utter confusion and chaos, and I started feeling quite stressed, especially where I thought 21 hours a week, okay, that's a day job, I'll be out at night, at least I'll have time to practice. Well, I was there from 10 in the morning and still there at 9 o'clock at night, and that was it. So I had a meeting and tried to see if we could, make it a bit easier. But they just said, oh, it will get easier within 6 months, you'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, I carried on. I wasn't feeling good. I realised how important it was to play music, because that's been a part of my life for 20 years, and what my priorities are. So I think on the third week I fell ill with food poisoning, and I was actually really ill, and I had to go to a clinic and have a load of antibiotics and vitamins, and yeah, that cost quite a lot. Well, they cost me £80, which is quite a lot really. And they said, oh well, we'll reimburse you. And then I went, so I had a few days off, quite dehydrated, very hot, and then I went back in to work. And again, it was nonsensical lesson planning, no idea what's going on. I can't even remember the job. I mean, I'd like to describe the job more in this video, but it's been already like 3 weeks since I last went there, so it's kind of gone already. And so I went in and I did all this lesson planning, and then I think I said, this is not working, because it was, the moment I was there, I was stressed. I mean, I was even having nightmares about these lesson plans, and I was just feeling quite fragile. And then I think what happened? Yeah, that's right. I had a quiet weekend, and I went back in and had another meeting and said, I'm thinking of leaving. So they told me, well, these are your liabilities if you decide to leave, paying all the things you've got to pay back. So this is a warning to anyone wanting to go to Indonesia and teach English. Be aware that if you sign a contract and they do your KITAs for you for 1 year, you're going to have to pay it back if you leave before that year, or at least some of it. So if you leave before 3 months, it's 100%. If you leave between 3 and 6 months, it's 75%, and etc, etc. So it's a way of trapping you there. And when they say it's easy, it's not. It's hours and hours of work. And you know, they say, oh, it's a great job for traveling and seeing things and going to beaches. And well, no, you're just in an office planning lessons all day and then trying to teach online using an online platform that's impossible. I mean, my job is to teach. I've got a TEFL. I didn't know that it would be completely nonsensical and confusing. So we went through everything. And then I was forced into signing the contracts. I hadn't signed it yet, and they threatened me to report me to immigration if I didn't actually sign, even though I said I'm thinking of leaving. So this was a kind of, I could have walked out, but it's not, I don't want to do something like that because, at the end of the day, I signed it, I knew what I was getting myself in for, so I can only really blame myself. My girlfriend has been apologising. I've told her, you don't need to apologise, this was me. I knew it was going to be bad. I had a bad feeling, and sometimes in life you have to listen to your gut feeling. I nearly didn't go the day in London. I was tempted to just abandon the whole thing and get on a bus and go somewhere else, and not, because I had this dreadful feeling. When you have a dreadful feeling, it probably means it's going to be dreadful. So anyway, I'm laughing about it because I'm here now in the sun, and I'm and I'm feeling a bit better. So anyway, I decided to leave, and then I caught the coronavirus. So I wasn't able to go anywhere for at least 11 days before I tested negative. So I had it. I'm glad I've had it. I've had it now. It's over with. I was very ill. I couldn't lift my head off the pillow for about 1 day. It was just unbelievable bad headache. It kind of felt like when I had my vaccine, my AstraZeneca vaccine. It was a similar feeling, a kind of heavy headache and a sore throat. I didn't have any chest problems, but my tonsils were really inflamed. But I've got a weakness anyway. I tend to get tonsillitis, so that felt very bad. And then suddenly I couldn't smell. And then I went to drink, an orange juice, and it tasted like metal. It was weird. The whole thing was just completely weird. So and then one day we went out and suddenly, I smelt garlic, and I remember that was the first sudden whiff of smell, and it was sort of being, everything going back to colour after being in black and white. So anyway, I got out of it. And the last week I was waiting for them to process my exit permit so I was allowed to leave the country, and I started getting a swollen foot, and I thought, oh God, what's happened now? And I kept elevating it, and I thought, oh, it must be dehydration, because I hadn't been drinking enough, and it just didn't seem to be getting any better. It was just feeling worse. And then had a long haul flight with that. So by the time I got back after flying from Surabaya to Jakarta to Singapore to Amsterdam to Glasgow, it was pretty bad. So the first thing I did when I got home was see the doctor, or rather have a consultation, and cellulitis, which I've had before, and I probably had a scratch or something. The immune system's down, probably from having coronavirus and having severe stomach problems as well. So yeah, I'm recovering from that, so I'm just sort of trying to get myself well. I don't know about the future, about Southeast Asia, when I'm coming back. I think really I want to be back. If I want to go back there, I want to be able to play music and have a reasonably nice life, what I had before. Otherwise, it's not going to work for me. It's just not going to work. So if I stay in the UK, I'm actually thinking now I've got to find a job, a reasonable job that will allow me to practice. But the main thing is to get back into playing music. Really, I'm start standing again and sitting, I can get the piano going and the saxophone, and think about the summer really, and gigs and things like that. So I might try to do some video logs of practicing again, just to get back into it. So that's the plan, and hopefully it will be okay. But it's been a big lesson. I don't know if I'll do any more English teaching. I'm not really sure. At the moment, I want to just. I think if I'd have had a good experience in a good school, with decent hours, it might have been a completely different story. But basically, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. So that's all there is to say. So here I am, back on the Isle of Bute, enjoying the spring sunshine and recovering from cellulitis, and yeah, just taking it one day at a time at the moment. So I want to wish everyone well, and I'll be doing some more video logs later on. Okay, all the best everyone. Goodbye.